What is property management? Who needs a property manager? Or what does a property manager even do? Well, hey, my name is Zach Hill, and today in this video, we're going to talk to you about those things and more. What is property management? And then, of course, who is Shield Property Management? To help me tell that story today and answer those questions, I'm going to bring on Clay Burris and Matt D'Angelo. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful, Zach. Good to see you.
How you doing, Zach? Good seeing you.
Hey guys, thanks for jumping on today. I'm really excited to unpack just the baseline of what property management is and then who Shield is. So, Matt, why don't I throw it to you? Let's get straight into it. What is property management?
Oh, sure, Zach. Well, it includes a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving parts and components, but really the overall is going to be handling investors' property, from marketing the property out, collecting applicants, screening the applicants, and then placing them into the property on their move-in date. You're handling leases and property management agreements, and then once they're in the property, it's going to be day-to-day maintenance of that until move out. So it's kind of a overarching what we do with property management.
Yeah, and no doubt there's more to it. We're going to get into that soon, but I appreciate you putting the ball on the tee for us there. I'm going to throw it over to Clay then and say, Clay, what is Shield Property Management?
Yeah, Zach. Shield Property Management is a company in Hamilton County, Indiana, that the three of us actually founded last year in 2022. So it is locally owned and operated, and we're here to serve Hamilton County, Indianapolis, and that central Indiana marketplace.
Awesome, Clay. And that's a great transition into what we're going to look at today. We're going to unpack what is Shield Property Management, or property management rather, from your friends at Shield. Just as a quick recap, my name is Zach Hill, and you also have Clay Burris and Matt D'Angelo on the line today as Clay unpacked. So let's dig into it. What we do, essentially, Matt broke it down into these categories that we handle leasing, we handle tenant management, we handle property management, we take care of the books, and so much more. But in the video, we're going to help break down what that is instead of just give you the highlights. And so let's start with leasing, and we'll throw it to Matt. Talk to us about leasing, the property management piece that's so important to landlords who have a house that they want to put people in. What does the property management manager do there?
Well, sure, Zach. Well, after we get to know the owner, if they're comfortable using Shield Property Management, we'll have them sign a property management agreement. From there, we get an idea of when they're looking to start advertising the property. Once we have that, we'll usually go to the property, take a look at things, see if anything has to be done to the house before we go and do our pictures. Shield Property Management has professional photography go out, handle all the pictures, and then from there we utilize our software to list the property. It gets syndicated out to about 6 different sites. I'm sure everyone has heard of Zillow. That's one of the big ones that it goes to. And we also put it on our My Board with Indiana. So that takes the initial steps of marketing the property out. From there, then we'll be showing the property just like you would if you were selling or buying a home. So people will come out, set up showings and opportunities to come see it. And then if they want to, move forward, they'll do an application through our software program.
That's awesome. Hey, Clay, anything to add to what Matt shared with us?
No, I don't think so. That takes care of the screening process and that upfront start to finding you a tenant for your property.
Right. It's one thing to have a property, but now we have to get somebody into it to generate the cash flow. So absolutely, property management company is going to take care of that, as we do at Shield. Clay, let me throw it over to you then. We're going to talk about tenant management for a moment here. So, okay, we've listed the property and we've screened and found a tenant for the landlord. Now, how are we going to take care of the tenant once they're in there?
Yeah, I think that's where one of the areas that we set ourselves apart here at Shield Property Management, Zach, is that tenant relationship. So from giving them tips and tricks to help maintain the home, things that they should be taking care of as actual tenants in the house is different from things the owner should be taking care of as the property owner itself. So we try and give them tips that help them, get their deposit back that we would collect on the front end once they are ready to move out, and that goes along with maintaining the property. So they'll have a nice magnet on their fridge that they can easily scan in, and should something go wrong with the house, they can ask us questions or submit a maintenance request, so we can take care of it in a timely manner. We also give them access in that portal to all their lease documents. They can pay their rent online, etc. So we try and make it a real user-friendly and personal process for the tenants, not just the property owners.
That's right. We absolutely hope that everything goes well. Of course, if it doesn't, that's where we as property managers are there to support the landlord as too. Is that right, Matt? It's not fun to talk about, but we also handle any eviction or debt collection as well. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we hope it doesn't come up, but in the world of property management, it eventually will. So we have a lot of systems in place to handle that. And if it has to go to a lawyer, we have a really good one on our resources to utilize. So, but again, we're trying to make sure we do a really good job with screening and placing the right people in your property, so we don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely. Really well said. Next is the property management itself. So just as a recap, we had a house that we needed to find a tenant for. We did that, and we're going to try to take the best care we can of that tenant to keep them happy and take care of that home. But let's throw it over to Matt now to talk about property management. What is our role as property managers in property management?
Sure. Well, one of the biggest parts is going to be the move-in process that we talked about a little bit. Once that's over, we have I do check-ins, definitely right after move-in, 7 days out, and then periodic check-ins with the tenants to make sure everything's going well. They're trained on our Buildium software. That's what we use for our property management. So they actually have a portal that they'll be able to log into. From there, they can request maintenance requests. They could go in and pay their monthly rent. And they could also just communicate in general if they like to, and it goes right to our emails and my phone. So that's how we kind of handle that communication process. And the owner of the property will also have their own portal, so they can check everything, all the accounting, what's going on, the rent, the expenses, and anything on that side of it. And then really once the tenant's in, besides those topics, really it's any maintenance requests that come in is the big part of it, until you get to the move out. And then we have our processes for the move out.
Absolutely. And something that we'll talk about here in a second. Clay, I know that you've got several rental properties of yourselves. Where does the property manager serve you when you've got perhaps 2 or 3 properties out there and a storm comes through? What happens in that situation?
Yeah, Zach, as a property owner myself, I've always used property managers to help me with the rentals, as it allows me to focus on my family, my day-to-day life, and my other work responsibilities. So I see the value there personally, and it's one of the reasons we helped found this company. To answer your question about a storm comes through, we just had high winds in the area recently. So property manager can help check on the house, make sure the tenants are good. If there are issues, obviously field those phone calls from the tenants so that the owner of the property doesn't have to deal with it. We have kind of built into our process 2 property visits each year from our property managers, where they're going to go check out the house. So if you don't call us for 6 months and nothing's gone wrong, we're still going to swing by, make sure everything's on the up and up, make sure the tenants are respecting and taking care of the property and maintaining it in the way the property owner hopes, and give that report back to the owner, so they have an added sense of security with what's going on in the house that they own.
Yep, really well said. And I appreciate you sharing your experience with us there. Clay, you're up next here, and no doubt Matt can speak to this as well. But let's start with Clay. This is really the part that's seen very little, but is so important that a property manager can bring to a landlord, is the accounting and the reporting. Clay, would you take the first swing at it?
Sure. This is the part, to me at least, as a property owner, that I don't want to deal with. But we all, as property owners, and everyone has to pay taxes at the end of the year. So hopefully your property is income producing and profitable, and that's our goal for you. But you're going to have to file all those fund documents with the IRS at the end of the year. So we hit on rent collection earlier. We make that super easy so that the tenant has every reason and every ability to pay quickly and on time. But from there, it goes right into your portal where the owner has access to a gamut of reports that they can pull at any given time, showing what's been paid in, paid out, etc. And then at the end of the year, they're going to get the tax documents necessary to file with their accountant and or the IRS. So we try and make it super easy. All you got to do is download the documents and take them to your accountant at the end of the year, so you don't have to spend hours trying to do it yourself.
Matt is somebody that is checking up on our landlords and tenants on a daily basis. Is there anything to add to what Clay just said?
No, I think he said it well. What's nice about our Buildium software program is that the owner and myself can go on there, and it automatically generates those reports based upon their rental income from all of their properties. And you can actually, allocate which properties if you want just that specific house. So it makes it really nice and helpful for us and the owners.
Absolutely. Again, we always start to think about the house, the cash flow, the tenant, but somehow that's got to get reported. It's got to get paid out and taken care of. And we've got that built into our property management through Shield. Finally, if you found us today and you're in the Indianapolis area and you're a realtor or in the business and you're curious about how we as realtors could serve you safely without any worry of losing a client or anything like that happening, we've already thought of you. So tacked on the back end of property management here is how we at Shield Property Management can serve you, perhaps an agent not affiliated with us. Clay, would you be willing to take a moment and just talk about the Shield Agent Assurance Program, aside from what we see on the screen here?
Absolutely, Zach. Yeah, this is something that I feel very strongly about. My career has been in real estate, residential real estate for the past 20 plus years. So when we decided to form this company, I knew deep down that real estate agents would be a big part of that. We have a lot of long-term, good standing relationships in the real estate community here in Central Indiana, and certainly respect what realtors do. So we're wanting to come alongside you as a partner, not a competitor. You, as a realtor, may have clients that you're helping find investment properties, and we want to be able to serve you or serve alongside you, serving your client to make that process smooth should they need property management services for that house. So we've put together a program to assure our real estate agent partners that we've always got their backs. We're not here to try and take their clients, but instead walk alongside you so that you can serve them well and get repeat business back from that client. So as part of our agent assurance program, we have in writing a process where we will always refer that client back to the agent that gave them to us should they want to buy or sell real estate, because that's not what we do here at Shield. While we are licensed real estate agents per Indiana law, we are not in the business of buying or selling houses. So we always want to give that back to the realtor or real estate agent that gave us the business to begin with, and really maintain those relationships long term, because that's where the bulk of our businesses come from so far.
Great clarity, and I appreciate that catch there. So I appreciate you unpacking the agent assurance program. Well, guys, before we wrap up this presentation, as we've started to talk to people in the community or perhaps online, we get two of the same questions quite frequently. And so, Matt, you're going to be up first. We'll often be asked, hey, do you serve commercial properties? So, hey, why don't you tell us, Matt, who do we serve through Shield Property Management?
Yeah, sure, Zach. So right now, currently, we don't do commercial. Our big focus is on regular residential properties, so single family or multifamily properties, up to a certain level. We don't handle apartments either, but we are handling multi-properties as well. So those are our two big areas that we focus on and have a lot of experience doing.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking that one. We get that frequently, like I said. And then Clay, you're up next. This is kind of a broad but specific question, and you choose how to handle it here. But people always say, well, what's it cost to get started? How do I work with you? What's the best way to answer that and take a next step? Should Shield Property Management be someone that you'd want to work with?
Yeah, Zach. A couple of ways that we get paid, and it really depends on what you're looking to have us do. So if you're looking to have us find the tenants, market the house, and that whole process, we do have a marketing fee associated with that. It's a one-time fee that would be upfront for the marketing, screening, finding the tenant part of the process. Now, you may not need that. Maybe you've already have a property that's tenanted, you have a lease in place, etc. You're just looking somebody to take over the day-to-day part of it, of collecting rent, managing maintenance requests, etc. So we can hop in there, and when the property's tenanted, we just charge a 10% per month fee on the rental amount. And that's only while the property is tenanted. So if you do have vacant months by chance, there would be no fee during those times. So we can serve from one or both of those capacities, depending on your needs.
Yep, really well said. You might think, okay, cool. So how do I get a hold of you? Well, one, you can leave a comment in whatever place you're finding this video. Or two, you can reach out to us directly at shieldpropertymanagement.com, where we'd be thrilled to hear from you, answer your questions, and learn if there's next steps to take from there. Hey, at Shield Property Management, we're so grateful you took the time with us today to learn about property management and about how we try to do it a little bit different. I want to thank Clay and Matt for jumping on here with me today to share. And as always, we are in your corner moving forward. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you later.
All right. See you guys.